Jake Ellison, and joining me today, as always, is the insightful Tessa Monroe.
Welcome to our podcast, Augmented by Default, where we explore ways to remove the friction between humans and AI.
Absolutely, and today we're plunging into a topic that's really shaking things up, especially in project management. We're talking about superhuman project managers.
Sounds intriguing.
It is, and our understanding here comes largely from the event and LinkedIn posts around the recent Superhuman Project Manager event.
Ah, yes, that one. It sounded like quite the collaboration.
It really was a fantastic collaboration with PMI Sydney, Australia. It featured a really eye-opening demo and presentation from the Augmented 4 founders.
That's Domenico Rutigliano, the CTO, and Michael Emmanuel Schielhart, the CRO.
Exactly. And it was hosted by the Australian Institute of Higher Education, brilliantly put together by Julia Cecchia, who's a PMI City board member.
So a lot of key players involved.
Definitely. And what we want to unpack today is how AI isn't just, automating stuff. It's really about augmenting our own capabilities.
Making us achieve things that honestly seemed impossible for one person before, right?
Precisely.
And that's such a key point because I think for many people, when AI first hit the scene, the mind immediately went to ChatGPT, maybe.
Yeah, that was the main reference point for a while.
Right. And it kind of split people. Some were excited, others were, hesitant, maybe even a bit fearful about jobs.
The job replacement fear was definitely out there.
It was. And someone who attended the event, Afraiz Ahmed, put it really well in their LinkedIn post afterwards. They captured that initial worry.
What did they say?
Well, they reflected on that, feeling this worry that AI might just take over, But then came this powerful insight.
Okay.
Afraiz Ahmed wrote, "People won't lose their jobs to AI. They'll lose their jobs to people who use AI."
That flips the script, doesn't it?
Completely. It stops being about fear and becomes, empowering. It shifts the whole perspective towards this idea of augmented artificial intelligence.
Where AI is more of a partner, a collaborator.
Exactly, a partner, a force multiplier for what we can do. It expands our individual capacity.
Okay, that distinction replacement versus augmentation that feels critical. And it brings us right to this core idea, Agentic AI.
Right. This is where it gets really different from what most people think of as AI.
Yeah, because it's crucial to get this. Agentic AI isn't just your standard chatbot spitting out text, or even like a co-pilot helping in one app.
No, it's way beyond that.
So we're talking about intelligent agents that don't just respond, they act. They make decisions. They learn on their own.
And they navigate real-world systems, right? Like they can actually do things in the software we use every day.
Exactly. They interact with your email, your calendar, Jira, CRM systems, you name it.
Yeah.
And with pretty minimal human prompting.
Almost like a digital team member, but super specialized.
Kind of, yeah. And their capabilities are impressive. They can take a big goal, break it into smaller tasks, then execute those tasks across different systems.
Like actually creating a Jira ticket or scheduling a meeting series.
Yep. Creating Jira issues, booking meetings, and crucially, they adapt. They learn from feedback and changes. It's not just asking a question, it's delegation.
Okay, seeing that in action must be something else.
Well, that brings us to the demo at the event. Domenico Rutigliano and Michael Schielhart showed off their digital human, Sofia.
Ah, Sofia, right.
They set up a common scenario. Domenico suggests to Julia, let's build a sleek, responsive microsite for superhuman ready next week. A typical project kickoff, maybe a bit ambitious.
Okay, familiar pressure. So what did Sofia do?
This was the amazing part. Sofia wasn't directly told, do this. She picked up the goal from the conversation.
Just listening in.
Yeah. And then she calmly asked Michael, okay, single page or multi-section, need CRM integration. Just clarifying requirements proactively.
Wow. Okay, so she understood the context.
Totally. Then she captured those needs, drafted a scope document, and sent it off to Domenico and Julia for approval instantly.
Drafted the whole scope. That alone saves time.
But she didn't stop there. Once they approved it, she went straight into Jira, created the project board, defined the main epics like UX design, development testing, the big work chunks.
Standard phases.
And then went deeper. Under the UX epic, she created actual user stories for content layout, mobile responsiveness, feedback forms, the specific feature details.
All within minutes.
Right there in the demo was seamless.
Okay, that's genuinely impressive. You can see how that changes things.
Right. So think about what that means. Michael pointed out to the audience in less than 5 minutes, they saw task discovery, communication, drafting, approval, and project initiation.
All the kickoff headaches, basically.
Yes, exactly. And Domenico added the kicker. without bouncing through 5 meetings, 6 tools, and 1 mental breakdown.
The mental breakdown part,
Well, yeah.
that resonates with anyone who's managed projects.
It really does. It almost makes agentic AI sound like, I don't know, a wellness tool as much as a productivity booster.
You know, that's not far off. It's absolutely about reducing that cognitive load, that stress that leads to burnout.
So these aren't just scripts running in the background.
No, they're positioned as digital humans. Agents designed to learn your context, reflect your values, and genuinely augment your bandwidth.
You're not alone sorting emails or fighting your calendar or drowning in scope creep anymore.
Exactly. You have backup. It's like having you augmented. It's a game changer for productivity, sure, but maybe just as much for sanity and project management.
It frees up the PM to be less of an admin and more of a leader, a strategist.
Precisely.
So connecting this to the bigger picture, the ripple effects for project management seem huge. It's changing how projects get delivered,
Absolutely. And one of the first things people notice is automating the mundane.
like status reports,
Yeah.
meeting scheduling, all those follow-up.
All of that, the routine stuff that eats up hours every single week. Imagine freeing up PMs from that grind.
They could actually focus on the high-value stuff. Strategic planning, stakeholder engagement, complex problem solving.
The things that require human insight and leadership. But it goes further. Agentic AI offers real-time insights. Think about risk alarms. These agents can monitor KPIs constantly, spot project slippage or scope creep almost as it happens, maybe even before it becomes a real problem.
So they can flag issues proactively,
Yep.
trigger mitigation steps earlier.
Exactly, before things get out of hand.
Yeah.
And then there's dynamic resource allocation.
Meaning,
The AI can actually rebalance tasks across the team on the fly, based on who's available, their current workload, maybe even their past performance on similar tasks.
oh wow, so it could help prevent bottlenecks and team burnout?
That's the idea. Smarter workload distribution. And maybe the most powerful part, continuous learning.
Yeah, AI gets better over time.
Yeah. It learns from every project what worked, what didn't. So each cycle gets smoother, more predictable. Plus, think about auto-generated documentation, summaries, even quality checks in fields like construction. The applications keep expanding.
This really brings us back to that core philosophy you mentioned. It's not replacement, it's amplification. Augmented intelligence.
That's the heart of it, yeah. It's the vision described in those LinkedIn posts and by the Augmented 4.
Can you unpack that a bit more? What does that really look like?
Imagine a system that does the groundwork for you. It sifts through mountains of data, pulls out the key trends, and gives you sharp, actionable insights.
Like having a research assistant on tap.
Exactly. And it can organize your priorities, highlighting what truly needs your human brain right now. It might even handle some initial negotiations or info gathering in the background.
While you focus on
The things AI can't do. The strategic thinking, the creative solutions, the empathy, the nuanced conversations, the vision, that's augmented intelligence. AI as a true partner, an extension of you.
freeing you up to operate at a higher level.
That's the goal.
Okay, but is this just, a nice theory? Or is it actually happening now?
Oh, it's definitely happening. There's real momentum. Big companies, AT&T, IBM, Microsoft, they're already deploying agentic AI at scale.
So it's not just experimental anymore.
Not at all. Gartner even called it the top strategic technology for 2025. That's pretty significant.
Wow, so it's hitting the mainstream fast.
It is. And we're even seeing startups pop up developing AI agents designed to act as junior product managers,
Really? Doing what?
handling those initial tasks, data gathering, synthesizing info, drafting early documents, freeing up the human PMs for more complex strategy work right from the start. The evidence is stacking up.
Okay, the benefits seem clear. Massive productivity gains, smarter decisions, faster responses. But surely there are challenges too, caveats.
Absolutely. It's powerful tech, and that always comes with considerations. Accountability is a big one.
Meaning, who's responsible if the AI messes up?
Exactly. If an autonomous agent makes a decision that goes wrong, where does the buck stop? Defining that is tricky.
Yeah, I can see that.
Then there's bias and transparency. If these agents are making decisions, we need to be sure they're fair, and we need to understand why they made them. Explainability is key.
Black box decision-making is risky.
Very. And perhaps the most practical challenge. Systems integration.
Getting the AI to actually talk to all the existing software.
Precisely. True autonomy needs deep connections to everything. Legacy systems, databases, different tools. It's not just plug and play. It requires serious technical groundwork.
So it's a significant undertaking to implement properly.
Definitely. Requires careful planning.
So for people listening, maybe thinking, okay, I want to explore this, what's the advice?
Mhm.
How do you start building an agentic PM framework, as they called it at the event?
Well, the guidance was pretty practical. It's not about flipping a switch overnight. First step, baseline knowledge.
Just understanding the landscape.
Yeah, understand the
Yeah.
tools out there, figure out your data integration needs, start thinking about how agentic workflows could fit into how you already operate. Educate yourself.
Makes sense. What next?
Then they suggested a pilot sip, not chug approach.
Meaning start small.
Exactly. Introduce agents for specific manageable tasks, maybe automating meeting notes or flagging certain risks or drafting simple reports, something contained.
And then learn from that.
Measure the impacts, see what works, what doesn't. Iterate. Build confidence before you try to scale it bigger. Controlled steps.
And the third point.
Govern with intent. This is critical. You need clear rules of the road, governance structures to make sure the agents align with your standards, ethical, compliance, operational.
So ensuring the AI works for you within your rules.
Right. It needs to be responsible and effective deployment, serving the organization's actual goals.
Okay, so bringing it all together, what does this mean for the individual project manager or really any professional?
Well, as Domenico Rutigliano put it, AI doesn't replace the PM. It redefines what the PM can do.
It's an evolution of the role, not an elimination.
Exactly. It's a chance to elevate your work, get rid of the drudgery, and focus on what really matters, the strategic, the human elements.
And going back to Afraiz Ahmed's insight.
Yeah, that powerful conclusion they reached after the event. Will AI take over, or will it become the tool that helps us become even more capable humans? I'm choosing the second.
Feels like the core choice here. Embrace augmentation.
Absolutely. It points towards a future where we're amplified, not replaced.
So this conversation really goes beyond just project management, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It touches the future of work itself.
It really does. It impacts potentially every field. So for you listening, the learner, the curious, maybe think about this. How could this shift towards augmented intelligence change how you plan, build, operate in your world?
How could it help you make smarter decisions faster?
Right. Faster, smarter decisions.
Yeah.
But crucially, without losing that essential human part of what you do, that
Yeah.
creativity, that empathy, that strategic foresight, the things that make your contribution uniquely valuable.
That's a powerful thought to leave people with. How do you leverage this power while enhancing, not diminishing, your human essence?
Exactly. It's the big question as we navigate this augmented future together.